Guys, it's February, which means it's time to go over all of the books we want to read this month. This is technically our first TBR video of the year because we didn't do one for January. We're excited to get back into it.
Since we didn't do a TBR for January, I felt so lost. I didn't know what to read. I think the TBRs really helped me like plan. I can't not have a plan.
And you know what's crazy? January is the most books I've ever read in one month, and I think I liked not having a TBR because I can just choose what I naturally felt like I wanted to read next. So now I'm interested to see if now having a TBR, if I read less, or if I'm just having a really good reading year and I'm into reading right now.
Well, she was also one of those people who deleted TikTok, so that's also why you're reading a lot.
A social media break was nice. I got rid of all my social media for a while, and I read 13 books last month. I might have to do it again.
Okay, so we have our stacks in front of us, so we're gonna go ahead and go through all of our hopefuls.
Before we actually get into the books, we do want to take a second to talk about today's sponsor, Book of the Month. You guys know how much we love Book of the Month. We have this whole section dedicated to their books, but they are a monthly subscription box service, and their mission is to bring the best new fiction forward.
They offer the best prices on new release hardcover fiction, and they offer free shipping and a loyalty rewards program.
We love how they focus on new and emerging authors because that allows them to show us books that we might not have found otherwise.
Since Valentine's Day is coming up, they do have 3, 6, or 12 a month gift subscriptions. That would be a really good gift idea to either gift to somebody you love or to ask for.
This is our February box, and they had so many good options to choose from. The one I ended up going with is Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. This is Gillian McAllister's most recent mystery thriller release, and I have loved all of her books so far, so I can't wait to read this one.
They also have so many good new add-ons, so I had to get Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. We just read Heartless Hunter last month for our Literal Besties Book Club, and I absolutely loved it, so I knew I had to get this one. I'm so glad they had it this month.
If you want to see the rest of their February picks, we will leave their link in the description box. For a limited time, you can join Book of the Month and get your first book for only $9.99 with the code CRUSH. So all of that information will be in the description box below. Thank you so much, Book of the Month, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into the rest of our February TBR. Just like last year, I had my boyfriend choose my February TBR, so he picked out all these books for me, but I do think he did a really good job. One of the ones I'm most excited for is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I just talked about this one recently. I'm so excited to read it. So many people are saying there's exact parallels of what happened in this book and what's happening right now in the world, and that's absolutely insane because this book was written 20 plus years ago. It will also be my first Octavia E. Butler book, so I'm so excited to finally get into her writing. I think this one's gonna be crazy.
I might place an order and read it with you.
Right? It needs to be done. Let me know in the comments if you've already read this and your thoughts on it.
So I know I want to do all kinds of romances for February. So the first one I have on my hopefuls list is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I can't believe I didn't read this last year. I don't know what I've been waiting for, but I'm ready to get into it. I really liked where Powerless left off. But now that I'm thinking about it, I do want to read Rebel Witch as well, and they kind of give the same vibe. So I don't know, maybe that's not a good decision.
Maybe just read one at the beginning of the month and one at the very end.
That's a good idea. You're so smart.
I know.
Either way, I think they'll both be very good reads.
A romance book that I am very excited to read in February is Broken Beauty by Ketley Allison. This is a darker romance for sure. It's also reverse harem. I haven't seen too much about this, but every time I see it recommended, I'm like, I have to move that up on my reading list. I have to read it now. It says the charmer, the stalker, the tortured leader, the unhinged psychopath. Which one will break me? This just sounds like such an entertaining read. It's been a while since I've read a darker romance, so I think this will be the perfect month to do so.
I'll be reading Honey and Spice by Baloo Babalola, even if it doesn't win our Literal Besties Book Club poll, just because it's been sitting on my shelf for a while and it always sounds so good. It says this is her vibrant debut novel full of passion, humor, and heart that centers on a young woman who has no interest in love and unexpectedly finds herself caught up in a fake relationship with the man she warned her girls about.
That sounds good.
I love fake dating. Sweet like plantain, hot like pepper, they taste the best when they're together.
Cute.
I'm super excited about this one.
The next book I have on my list is Blackout, and there's 6 different authors that work together to put this short story collection together, so I'm so excited to finally read it. I started getting into short stories at the very end of last year, and I love how it just gives you a little something from each author so you can see like whose writing you love. But this book has been a long time coming. You've already read it and you read Whiteout already, so I am behind on it. I can't wait to read this one, and I think they're all love stories, right?
Yes.
So that would be perfect for Valentine's Day.
I do want to read Perfume and Pain by Anna Dorn. I mean, this cover is gorgeous. It's just giving like Valentine's Day vibes to me. I don't know why. It says when actress and influencer Kat Gould wants to adapt Astrid's previous novel for TV, Astrid finally has a chance to resurrect her career, but the pressure causes her worst vice to rear its head. Will she ever find success in her career? Will she ever find true love, or will she only know perfume and pain? Guess we're gonna find out.
Another one I'm super excited for is So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. Another that will be my first book by this author, a vampire novel. I can't wait to get into it. 2 girls go out for a wild night with a group of mysterious strangers, only for it to take a horrifying turn that changes Salome and Naomi's life literally forever. The friends are forced to come to terms with some pretty eternal consequences in this bloody, seductive novel about how it's never too late to find satisfaction, even though it might taste a little different than expected. I'm so excited for it.
I definitely want to read Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood this month. It's been a while since I've read an Ali Hazelwood book. I know this is a YA book too, and I haven't read a YA from Ali Hazelwood yet. I don't know anything about chess though, so hopefully it's not too intimidating to read, but it just feels right to read this in February.
A book that feels perfect for February is American Rapture by CJ Lead, because in this book there's basically a virus that takes over America, and the virus is lust. So all these people are being infected with lust, and our main character is trying to like swerve all of that and also find her brother. I think it's going to be so fun and interesting, so I can't wait to get started on this one.
Another one I have to read this month is Expiration Dates by Rebecca Serrell. This was one of my 25 books I have to read in 2025. I just explained it in that video, but every time this girl starts dating somebody, she gets paper that says like when their expiration date will be, and then she meets someone and she doesn't get an expiration date, so we're gonna see what that means.
A different genre that I have for February is Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. This is going to be like a sci-fi thriller novel, and like we always say, every time we read sci-fi we really enjoy it, so it needs to be a genre that we read more of. But it says, an abandoned planet, a hidden past, a deadly danger. Terrified that history will repeat itself, Ophelia and the crew must work together to figure out what's happening, but trust is hard to come by, and the crew members aren't the only ones keeping secrets. This is kind of reminding me of Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, and I loved that book, so I can't wait to see how this is gonna go.
I think for the past 3 years I've said I'm gonna read this book in February, and I never do, but I finally want to read Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. I know there's something about a dating show and a doctor, and our girlie has to find herself a husband in a certain amount of time. I think it'll be fun. I have to read it this month. If I don't,
You have to unhaul it.
I do. So we'll see.
Talking about books we have to read or have to be unhauled, mine is Legendborn by Tracy Dion. We say we're gonna read this every single year and we never do. I'm finally reading it in February. I love YA fantasy, and this one has such an interesting premise. I love the fact that there's like a demon feeding on human energies. There's also a secret society, there's magic. Like, this is everything I love in one book, so I know I'm gonna love it. I'm not gonna let the lies intimidate me. I'm gonna get it read, and I'm hoping this is a 5-star read for me in February.
Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. It is about time.
So many of you have been in the comments saying like we have to read this one already, because we talked about it in our 25 we want to read in 2025, so we're finally gonna do it.
I'm sure it'll be very good though. I know so many people say get the tissues ready and get book number 2 ready.
We're excited to finally start this. I know it's gonna be a long series, but I know it's one of those series that's so highly loved and talked about, and there's such a large group of characters that I feel like we're not gonna remember what it was like before we read this series. I also have The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and this one I'm so excited to finally read because I do want to see the movie adaptation. We just recently found this book in our last like big thrift haul, so I'm so happy to own it now. But it says this is her searing debut about an ordinary girl in extraordinary circumstances. It addresses issues of racism and police violence with intelligence, heart, and unflinching honesty. I know this one's gonna be so good, and it's been a while since I've read a YA contemporary, so I'm so happy that I'm finally gonna read this one. But that is all the books we have to go over today. Some people were asking if we're gonna bring back the blind books every month, and we will. We just haven't gotten to put those together yet. So sometime in February, we'll make the TBR cart so we can do a blind book every month. But it is coming, don't worry.
So we'll be reading all of these books plus the book club book. You guys chose this one, so we'll be reading that, and the link for that will be in the description.
That's pretty much it for today's video though. Let us know in the comments what books you're thinking about reading in February. Reminder that the book of the month link will be in the description as well, along with all of our social media accounts, so check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys next time.
What is this, chess or checkers?
This is chess. There's a dating show. She needs to find a husband.
Oh yeah, you remember it more than I do.
Yeah, girl, you read it every year.
Okay, since I read it every year, you're reading all these books that I own as well. And
Well,
it
come
makes me feel
on.
like I have to read them
Bring
too.
it out. It's just Legendborn.
What do you mean just?
What other one?
Oh.
It's just that one.
And the last one we have that we will be reading in February is the Binding 19, Binding 13 by Coat.
It's funny because this is like really my only like pink shirt, and I think I wear it every year for like either February or Valentine's Day.
We gotta get you more pink. Guaranteed climax every time. Y'all are crazy with it this month.